You got Stephanie White throwing shade right at Caitlin Clark right out of the gate on her little post-game. My damn thing is they catch the ball and make layups. It's like y'all are catching passes.
Extra possessions matter. We out-rebounded them 39-30. Really good stuff. First quarter, y'all, they shot.
Last week, I watched a movie about a alligator that was eating somebody at a motel. The biggest dog in the stadium, not named Caitlin Clark, didn't play last night.
Caitlin Clark and A'ja Wilson both out on the same night, and the timing alone has this whole fan base spiraling, because there's already a boycott movement brewing among Clark fans, and it didn't start today, it started with Stephanie White. This isn't some random coincidence people are inventing out of thin air either. Fans have been vocal for weeks that they don't trust how this front office is handling their franchise player. And every new absence just pours gasoline on that fire.
With no A'ja Wilson, Caitlin Clark fans not amused. Not amused. IDX Texas, that is straight up Caitlin Clark shade. Amen, brother. Amen. We notice how much harder they play when Caitlin is out. They all of a sudden know how to rebound and screen better. My damn thing is they catch the ball and make.
Clark got insulted by the whole officiating conversation all season, and now she's straight up injured. And yeah, this is eerily similar to last year's collapse. The pattern people are pointing to isn't paranoia, it's just pattern recognition. Insult, injury, absence, repeat. When you've watched this exact cycle play out once already, you don't need a conspiracy theory to be worried it's happening again.
And before we jump into that, look, not far be it from me to piss on the parade of those people, but it's about that time. It's about that time. You see, the Indiana Fever had not played a game since June 27th. They went a week and a day. In case you're wondering, that's 8 days. Until they got to another game.
We're basically sitting right at the 1-year anniversary of Clark's final game from the 2025 season. And that timing is not lost on anybody paying attention. So let's play devil's advocate here for a second. Is it possible her time with Indiana is genuinely running thin? I'm not saying it's confirmed. I'm saying the theory exists for a reason. And dismissing it outright ignores how much tension has built up around this exact roster all season.
Game 7. And they went out there and picked up this massive victory. And right out of the gate, by the way, let's not get confused. All superstars in basketball turn the ball over. That's a thing. LeBron James, Steph Curry, but the Caitlin Clark haters.
Here's the wilder theory going around. What if a trade's already been quietly worked out? Or what if Clark has essentially decided if the league won't protect her from these hits, she's just going to sit some of these out the way she did last season? I actually think this take doesn't hold up against what Clark herself has said publicly. She's talked about targeting a return during Indiana's upcoming road trip, and said she's feeling a lot better, which is a very different tone than someone who's checked out. But I get why fans are grasping for an explanation after everything this season's already put them through.
You got Stephanie White acting like this was the stupid bowl. It was the Stupid Bowl. This was her championship game. A'ja Wilson didn't play. A'ja was 4-time MVP, 3-time WNBA champ, 5-time block champ, 5 times all defensive, 6-time all WNBA, 3-time defensive player of the year, 7-time all-star, 2-time finals MVP.
And then there's the litmus test everybody's watching for. If Clark plays in the All-Star game, that tells you she's finishing the season out. If she sits that one too, get ready, because that's the real signal. I don't love turning an All-Star appearance into a referendum on her entire future with this team, but I understand why fans have landed on it as the one data point they can actually track.
Out that turnover card and throwing it out on the table like they're freaking Kenny Rogers and the Gambler, and you came up. Yeah, snake eyes. Wait a minute, that's Dice's. Anyway, you get the point. Yeah. Stephanie White glazing. I mean, I'm pretty sure she had a big O here.
All right, y'all. Great job. Great job. We did a lot of great things. I'm sure this has to be a season low 7 turnovers. Wow. You take care of the ball, you give yourself a chance.
Nobody actually knows what's happening behind the scenes with Clark and this organization, and that's exactly the problem. She has to say the right things in front of the cameras, but none of us are in that locker room. That gap between the public performance and the private reality is where every single one of these theories is being born, and until the Fever get more transparent, that vacuum is just going to keep filling up with speculation.
Them getting a win, slow, low-scoring, non-entertaining, stagnant methany ball. By the way, Austin Kelly's offense, yeah, I said Austin Kelly's, not Stephanie White's. Austin Kelly's offense, scoring real points. Y'all threw up 84 last night. Just pointing that out. 84. Caitlin Clark plays, they throw up 100. Oh, C note. No one cares but the 20% of the Caitlin Clark.
Now here's where I have to say I told you so. Everybody clowned this bench conspiracy talk last time out, but go back and watch the film. Clark went to the tunnel twice during that game, and the second time she never came back. That's not a benching, that's an injury. And the fact that nobody from this organization has corrected the record on that tells you they're either sloppy with communication or they just don't feel like they owe fans an explanation. Either way, it's not a good look.
With no Asia Wilson, Caitlin Clark fans not amused. Not amused. IDX Texas, that is straight up Caitlin Clark shade. Amen, brother. Amen. We notice how much harder they play when Caitlin is out. They all of a sudden know how to rebound and screen better. My damn thing is they catch the ball and make layups. It's like y'all are catching passes. Y'all are actually catching passes for some reason.
Fans in the comments are begging for actual clarity. Is this back injury chronic, or is it just this one incident? Because those are two very different conversations. And honestly, all I wanted this year was to watch Caitlin Clark play basketball. Pretty much sums up the exhaustion in this fan base right now. That's not an unreasonable ask, and the fact that it feels like too much to ask for says a lot about how this season's actually gone.
You got Stephanie White throwing shade right at Caitlin Clark right out of the gate on her little post-game reaction pep talk she gives. And before we jump into that, look, not far be it from me to piss on the parade of those people, but it's about that time. It's about.
This is the take that's been gaining traction all season. If Stephanie White had pushed back harder on the officiating early, challenged more calls, actually advocated for her star player in real time instead of after the fact, maybe Clark isn't absorbing this many hits in the first place. Coach White's post-game comments about consistency in the officiating are real, and she said them publicly, but there's a fair question here about whether that frustration should have been voiced louder, sooner, and directly at the refs instead of the media.
Stephanie White glazing. I mean, I'm pretty sure she had a big O here.
All right, y'all. Great job. Great job. We did a lot of great things. I'm sure this has to be a season low 7 turnovers. Wow. You take care of the ball, you give yourself a chance, right? 13 offensive rebounds. Extra possessions matter. We out-rebounded them 39-30.
Some of these fan comments are brutal. I'm out, won't be watching this game, and it's on the coach for the Fever and this franchise. That kind of loyalty/frustration combo is exactly what's fueling this boycott energy, and whether you agree with it or not, it's real sentiment from a fan base that feels like their star isn't being protected.
So the Aces didn't have the luxury of going eight freaking days coming into last night's game, and guess what? The biggest dog in the stadium, not named Caitlin Clark, didn't play last night for the Las Vegas Aces. And you could tell Becky Hammon was like, I don't care about this game. You could tell she didn't care about this game. You got Stephanie White acting like this was the stupid bowl. It was the Stupor Bowl.
The Iowa versus Indianapolis comparison here is honestly one of the more interesting takes in this whole video. Iowa is described as Caitlin Clark heaven, this whole other level energy, while Indy comes across as a city that adopted her, but loves the Fever and Stephanie White just as much. That distinction matters, because it tells you this fanbase's loyalty isn't unconditional the way people assume. There's real tension between, we love Caitlin, and we're an Indiana sports town first.
I've tried to tell y'all, this is all about agenda, and Stephanie White's leading the pack. Wilson didn't play. She's their entire team. There is nothing to celebrate. Oh, she's acting like this is game 7 of the WNBA finals last night. Worst coach in the WNBA makes worse scripted post-game.
And then you've got this comment nailing the actual basketball complaint. That Coach White's post-game outrage doesn't excuse leaving her star player exposed to unnecessary physical punishment on the court, game after game. Add in the fact that Aja Wilson is also out with an ankle injury on the exact same night, and yeah, it does look a little spooky having both of the league's biggest stars sidelined at once. Even if, more likely than not, that's just really bad timing colliding with a fan base that's already primed to see conspiracy everywhere.
Screw all of you. Caitlin Clark, leave this trash of an organization. Get bent, clowns. Woo! Yay, the coach of the year. You beat the Aces without Aja Wilson. Hooray. Did you edit out all the ums? Yeah. Yeah. They would have lost if Aja was playing.